5 things to tell yourself every morning. Every morning when you open your eyes, before the world starts talking to you, before your phone lights up, before the noise of life floods in, you need to talk to yourself. Because if you don't set the tone for your day, the world will set it for you. The way you speak to yourself in the morning determines the way you walk through your day. You can't wake up defeated and expect victory. You can't start your day with doubt and expect destiny. Every sunrise is an invitation to rise higher, to speak over yourself with power, with intention, with faith. So before you let fear whisper, before you let frustration take hold, remind yourself of these 5 truths that anchor your day and direct your focus. You need to start your day reminding yourself that nothing you face today is stronger than what's inside you. Life will test you. You are not fragile. You are fortified. Every trial you've been through was training for this moment. Every disappointment was shaping your endurance. Challenges come, don't flinch, don't fold, stand firm and tell yourself, I am built for this. Your spirit has survived storms before. Your mind has carried you through chaos before. You didn't come this far to break now. You came this far to prove that strength doesn't come from ease. It comes from endurance. So square your shoulders, lift your head, face the day like a warrior who knows the battle has already been won. You can't always control what happens around you. You can control what happens within you. Don't hand your peace over to every problem. Don't let other people's chaos become your crisis. Protect your calm like it's your crown. When someone tries to provoke you, remember peace is power. When life moves too fast, slow your breathing and reclaim your rhythm. The world will always try to pull you into noise, but you decide how you respond. Every morning declare, I am in control of my peace. Because when you master your emotions, you master your direction. You're not behind, you're becoming. Growth is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, invisible, and slow. But every step forward, every act of discipline, every moment of faith is building the person you were destined to become. Stop comparing your chapter to someone else's highlight reel. You're not meant to duplicate anyone's story. You're meant to write your own. Speak this truth over yourself. I am becoming who I'm meant to be. Because when you understand that progress is a process, you stop panicking about the pace. You start trusting the journey. Gratitude changes everything. It transforms your mindset from I have to into I get to. You get to breathe. You get to try again. You get to start fresh. Every morning, instead of listing what's missing, acknowledge what's present. Thankfulness opens the door to joy, and joy gives you strength. No matter how heavy yesterday was, today is a new opportunity to rise again. So whisper to yourself, I am grateful for another chance, because as long as you're alive, there's still time to grow, to heal, to build, to love, and to fulfill what's inside of you. You can't step into purpose while holding hands with fear. Faith doesn't mean you see the whole staircase. It means you trust the step you're on. Life won't always show you the full plan. That's where faith does its best work. When the path looks uncertain, remind yourself fear doesn't get to drive today. Faith does. You're guided, you're covered, you're capable. Every door that's meant for you will open in its time. So stand tall, breathe deep, and declare, I am walking by faith, by fear. Before the alarm clock pulls you out of your dreams, before your hand reaches for the phone, before the noise of the world begins to flood your mind with opinions, comparisons, and distractions, there's a sacred moment. It's that quiet, powerful moment between sleep and wakefulness where your soul is still, your thoughts are unformed, and your spirit is listening. That is the moment where you must speak to yourself. Because if you don't talk to yourself, the world will. And the world does not always speak life. Every morning gives you a blank page, a new beginning, another chance to direct the story. You can choose to fill that page with power. You can allow fear and noise to write the script for you. That's why self-talk is not just a habit, it's a declaration. It's your soul saying, before I step into the world, I will remind myself of who I am. When you start your day talking to yourself, you're not being strange, you're being strategic. You're training your mind before the world tries to condition it. You're setting boundaries for what energy can reach you, what words can influence you, and what thoughts can stay within you. You are telling your spirit, this is how we're moving today. This is what we believe. This is what we will not accept. Because the truth is, the world will always have something to say. It will tell you that you're behind, that you're not enough, that your dreams are too big, that your progress is too slow. It will measure your worth by numbers, by likes, by what you have or don't have. And if you don't learn to speak over yourself, you'll start believing those lies. You'll start living according to someone else's opinion instead of your own purpose. That's why you must wake up every morning with intention. Look in the mirror and talk to yourself with truth and conviction. Remind yourself that you are not what the world calls you. You are what you call yourself. Remind yourself that no voice outside of you carries more power than the voice within you. Self-talk is not about arrogance, it's about alignment. It's about bringing your thoughts, emotions, and faith into harmony before the day begins. It's about recognizing that your words are seeds, and whatever you plant in the morning will grow throughout the day. If you plant fear, you'll harvest anxiety. If you plant doubt, you'll walk in hesitation. But if you plant faith, gratitude, and strength, you'll carry confidence, peace, clarity everywhere you go. When you rise each morning, your mind is like fresh soul, soft, open, and ready to receive. What you say to yourself in those first few minutes has the power to direct your energy for the entire day. That's why it's dangerous to wake up and immediately consume the world's noise. When you reach for your phone before you reach for your peace, care enough, you give permission for chaos to become your first companion. You invite confusion into your clarity. You let the voices of others drown out your own. When you pause, when you take that first breath of gratitude, when you look within before you look around, you regain control. You start the day as the author, not the audience. You become proactive instead of reactive. You choose to lead your thoughts instead of letting your thoughts lead you. Talk to yourself like someone you love. Encourage yourself like you would encourage a friend who's struggling. Speak softly but firmly to your soul. I am capable. I am strong. I am worthy. I am growing. I am becoming. These are not just words. They are declarations that reshape your inner atmosphere. They are commands that tell your emotions where to stand and your fears where to go. Every morning, you must remind yourself that the day belongs to you, not to your problems, not to your past, not to people who doubt you. It belongs to your purpose. Purpose begins with mindset. If your mind is aligned, your steps will follow. If your spirit is grounded, no storm can move you. Starting your day with self-talk is like putting on spiritual armor. You're covering your heart with faith, wrapping your mind in truth, walking into the world clothed in confidence. You're saying, before the world tells me who I am, already decided. It's not about pretending that everything is perfect. It's about reminding yourself that even when it's not, you are still capable of handling it. When you talk to yourself with belief, you build resilience. You remind yourself that failure is not final, disappointment is not defeat, and that delay does not mean denial. You awaken the warrior within you before the world even gets a chance to test your strength. There will be mornings when you don't feel like speaking life. There will be days when your emotions are heavy, your mind is clouded, and your motivation feels distant. But those are the mornings when self-talk matters most. Because speaking faith when everything is easy doesn't build power. Speaking faith when everything feels impossible does. Self-talk is the language of resilience. It's the internal dialogue that refuses to surrender. It's the whisper that says, I can still rise, even when everything around you says, stay down. It's the decision to believe in the power of your words, even when your circumstances haven't changed yet. You have to become your own encourager, your own motivator, your own reminder that purpose doesn't disappear when pressure arrives. World can't always lift you. Sometimes people won't understand what you're carrying. Sometimes support won't come, but your voice can still strengthen you. Your voice can still call you forward. So start your day speaking to your future, not your fear. Speak to your potential, not your pain. Say to yourself, today I choose peace. Today I choose purpose. Today I will not let negativity dictate my direction. Your words create your weather. Decide whether you want sunshine or storms. Before the world tells you what you lack, remind yourself of what you have. Before the world tries to define your limits, remind yourself of your possibilities. Before the world gives you reason to worry, give yourself reasons to believe. Your morning self-talk is your foundation. Challenge your alignment with who you come in, not just who you've been. The person you want to be is built in the moments the world doesn't see, those quiet, private conversations between you and your reflection. Every declaration you make is a brick in the structure of your destiny. Tell yourself, I am ready. Tell yourself, I am enough. Tell yourself, I have what it takes. Tell yourself, today I will rise with intention and end with gratitude. Because when you talk to yourself in the morning, you're not just preparing for the day, you're shaping your destiny. You're reminding every part of you that you have a choice to lead with faith, to walk in purpose, and to carry peace no matter what you face. So the next time the sun rises and the light hits your face, pause. Don't rush. Don't reach for the noise. Reach for your voice. Because when you start your day with self-talk before the world talks to you, you're not just starting the day, you're setting the tone for your life. There comes a moment in every life when the weight of the world seems heavier than usual, when the road feels long, the climb feels endless, battle feels unfair. It's in those moments when your strength is tested, when your faith is stretched, when your patience feels paper thin, that you must look yourself in the mirror and declare with conviction, I am built for this. You weren't created to crumble under pressure. You weren't designed to break in the storm. You were built to endure, to rise, to push through, and to come out stronger on the other side. Every challenge that confronts you is not there to destroy you. It's there to reveal what's already inside you. And what's inside you is power, endurance, resilience, and grace. So many people underestimate their own strength because they measure it by how they feel, not by what they've survived. But strength isn't about how comfortable you are. It's about how you continue even when comfort disappears. Every trial you've ever faced was preparation for this season. Every setback, every disappointment, every tear, none of it was wasted. All built something within you. It built endurance. It built patience. It built wisdom. You see, life will never stop testing you. That's not a curse. It's confirmation. The moment you begin to grow, life starts to challenge you because growth doesn't happen in ease. Diamonds are made under pressure. Muscles are built through resistance. And greatness is revealed through struggle. So when life pushes against you, don't panic. Push back. When pressure comes, remind yourself, I am built for this. You may not have seen it yet, but you've already proven. Think about all the things you thought you couldn't survive, and yet you did. Think about all the nights you cried and still got up the next morning. Think about all the times your heart broke, but your spirit didn't. You're still standing. You're still here. That's proof of strength. You might have scars, but scars are not signs of weakness. They're symbols of survival. I am built for this isn't just a statement. It's a mindset. It's a daily decision to see challenges not as barriers, but as building blocks. When you start believing that you are equipped for the season you're in, everything changes. Fear loses its grip. Doubt begins to fade. You stop asking, why me? And start declaring, try me. Because you realize that nothing you face today is stronger than what's inside you. There will be days when everything feels too much, when your plans fall apart, when people disappoint you, when the journey feels lonely. Those are the moments where you must reach deep within and find your inner anchor, that quiet, unshakable voice that says, keep going. You've handled worse. You've climbed higher. You've walked through fire before, and you didn't burn. You are built for this. Strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. It's the silent endurance of someone who refuses to give up. It's the stillness in your heart that says, I may bend, I won't break. It's the calm confidence that even if everything shakes around you, you know your foundation is secure. That foundation is your faith, your resilience, your unshakable belief that purpose still lives within the pain. When you declare, I am built for this. You're not denying that it's hard. You're acknowledging that even though it's hard, what it takes to handle it, that declaration shifts your mindset from victimhood to victory. You stop feeling sorry for yourself and start standing up for yourself. You stop focusing on what's happening to you and start focusing on what's being built inside you. The enemy of progress is self-doubt. Every time you face a challenge, that voice inside you might whisper, "You can't handle this." But that's when you must respond with power. Speak back to your fear. Speak back to your insecurity. Speak back to your exhaustion. Tell it. You don't know who you're talking to. Been through too much to give up now. I am built for this. There is strength in every scar, wisdom in every wound, and purpose in every struggle. Sometimes the very thing you think is breaking you is the thing that's actually building you. You can't discover your full strength until life tests it. You can't know how high you can climb until the mountain rises in front of you. Every obstacle is an invitation to see your own power in action. You've survived nights that tried to take your light. You've endured moments that should have crushed your spirit. You've carried weights that others would have dropped. Don't downplay that. Don't dismiss that. That's not ordinary. That's extraordinary. That's the proof that you are built for this. When life feels heavy, remind yourself steel is forged in fire. The more it's tested, the stronger it becomes. The same is true for you. Pressure doesn't define you. It refines you. It shapes you into who you were always meant to be. So when the heat rises, don't run from it, rise with it. Let it mold you, strengthen you, and elevate you. Sometimes you'll look around and see others who seem to have it easier. Don't envy their comfort, because comfort doesn't create growth. Pressure does. The fact that life is testing you means there's something powerful inside you that's worth testing. Gold doesn't get refined without fire. You can't have a crown without a cross, and every victory requires a battle. There's a difference between being tired and being done. You might be tired, but you're not done. You might be weary, but you're still worthy. You might be in pain, but you're still progressing. The fact that you're still fighting means there's more left for you to do, more inside you to give, more ahead of you to see. So speak it over yourself every single day. I am built for this. Speak it when you wake up and don't feel motivated. Speak it when life feels uncertain. Speak it when fear creeps in. Speak it when you want to give up, because your words carry power. What you declare shapes what you believe. What you do believe determines how you endure. I am built for this means I can handle the pressure and still move with purpose. It means I can be hurt and still have hope. It means I can fall and still rise again. It means no weapon formed against me can prosper, because I was not created to collapse. I was created to conquer. You are built for every challenge, every season, every test, every delay, and every storm that tries to shake you. You are built with divine strength for divine assignments, purpose behind your pressure, and a lesson within your struggle. And when you come out of it, you won't just survive, you'll shine. So lift your head, straighten your back, wipe your tears, remind your soul of who you are. Speak it until your heart believes it, until your fear surrenders, till your strength awakens. Again, say it with authority, with power, with faith, in a world that never stops moving, where notifications never sleep, where everyone seems to be shouting louder just to be heard. You must become the guardian of your inner calm. The world will always find ways to pull you into noise, but your peace is sacred. Your calm is not weakness, it's strength under control. It's your anchor when everything else is shaking. Protecting your inner calm is not about avoiding life. It's about learning how to walk through storms without letting the storm live inside you. It's about mastering your emotions so they serve you, not sabotage you. It's understanding that peace is not something you find, it's something you protect. Because every day, there will be something or someone trying to take it from you. You'll face criticism, chaos, disappointment, and distraction. You'll encounter people who misunderstand you, moments that frustrate you, and problems that try to unsettle you. The way you handle those moments determines whether you stay centered or lose control. inner calm isn't the absence of conflict. It's the ability to remain steady in the middle of it. When you protect your inner calm, you're choosing to value your energy. You're saying, my peace is too precious to be wasted on nonsense. Not every argument deserves your attention. Every opinion requires your reaction. Not every situation needs your energy. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to stay still, stay quiet, and stay calm. Because calm is not passive, it's powerful. People often mistake silence for weakness, but silence is discipline. It's choosing not to feed what drains you. It's understanding that not every battle's worth fighting. Some things don't deserve your energy. Some conversations don't deserve your response. Some chaos only exists because you engage with it. Protecting your calm means learning when to speak and when to let silence speak for you. You must learn to guard your peace like a treasure because it truly is one. When your mind is calm, you can think clearly. When your spirit is steady, you can hear direction. But when you let chaos control you, you lose sight of yourself. You start reacting instead of responding. You start making decisions out of fear instead of wisdom. And that's when you drift away from your purpose. Protecting your calm doesn't mean you ignore reality. It means you manage how reality affects you. Life will throw storms your way. You can't stop the rain from falling, but you can decide whether it floods your spirit or simply waters your growth. You can't control the wind. You can control your sail. The calm you keep determines the course you take. The secret to maintaining inner calm is understanding that peace is an inside job. It doesn't come from perfect circumstances. It comes from a disciplined mind. If you wait for everything around you to be peaceful before you feel peace within, you'll be waiting forever. But when you learn to quiet your thoughts, to breathe before reacting, to trust that not everything needs an immediate answer, you take back your power. Peace begins with perspective. When you change how you see things, you change how they affect you. When someone tries to provoke you, you can see it as an attack, or you can see it as a test. You can choose to respond with anger, or you can choose to respond with understanding. Either way, you decide how much control they have over your mood. Protecting your calm means not giving away that control so easily. There will always be people who thrive on drama. They'll pull you to gossip, arguments, negativity, because that's where they feel alive. But you're different. You're building something higher. You're pursuing purpose, not attention. You can't move forward if you're constantly stopping to respond to noise. Don't let distraction disguise itself as importance. Every moment spent defending your peace is an investment in your destiny. You must learn to pause, to breathe, to step back before you speak. Feel overwhelmed, take a moment to reconnect with yourself. Close your eyes, inhale deeply. Remind yourself that calm is your power. World may be chaotic, but you don't have to be. You can carry stillness within you, even in the middle of chaos. Protecting your inner calm also means setting boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they're gates that protect your energy. Say no when you need to. Walk away when something costs you your peace. Stop explaining yourself to people who only want to misunderstand you. Not everyone deserves access to your spirit. Everyone has earned the right to influence your emotions. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is nothing, especially when your instinct is to fight back. Defend yourself or prove your point. But real strength is restraint. It's realizing that not every reaction is worth your peace. When you stop needing to be understood by everyone, you gain freedom. When you stop needing to win every argument, you gain serenity. You can't heal, think, or create in chaos. Peace gives you clarity. Calm helps you hear your intuition. When you protect your calm, you protect your connection to wisdom. You protect your ability to see beyond the moment. You stop living from impulse and start living from intention. It's easy to lose your peace when life doesn't go as planned. When doors close, people leave, or situations change suddenly. Calm reminds you that not every ending is a loss. Some things fall apart, so better things can fall together. Inner peace allows you to see beyond what's happening to what's possible. It reminds you that even when things don't make sense, you're still being guided. There will be days when protecting your calm feels like a battle. You'll want to react, to shout, to fight back. But pause before you do. Every reaction has a cost. Every time you allow negativity to control you, you trade peace for poison. Choose peace every time. It might make you seem quiet to the world, but it will make you powerful within. When you walk in calm, you carry control. People can sense it. Chaos loses its grip on you. Anger can't pull you in. Fear can't shake you. Because calm is not something you have, it's something you are. It's the result of knowing who you are, what you value, and what's worth your energy. Protecting your calm means you stop chasing what disturbs your spirit. You stop forcing what's not flowing. You stop trying to please everyone and start listening to your soul. Peace is not the reward, it's the requirement. It's the environment where your purpose grows, your creativity flourishes, and your faith strengthens. Every morning, remind yourself that your calm is your crown. Don't hand it to anyone. Don't let temporary people cause permanent turmoil in your mind. Don't let today's noise drown out tomorrow's purpose. Hold your peace like it's your most valuable possession, because it is. When you master calm, you master life. You become unbothered by what used to shake you. You respond with grace where you once reacted with anger. You move through challenges with a quiet confidence that says, no matter what happens around me, won't happen within me. Oh, protect your inner calm like your future depends on it, because it does. The person you're becoming needs peace to grow. Your destiny needs stillness to speak. The next chapter of your life will demand more focus, more strength, and more clarity than the last. You can't afford to lose your calm now. So breathe. Let go of what doesn't serve you. Stop trying to control what's beyond you. And remember, peace is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Guard it, defend it, live by it. Because when you protect your inner calm, you protect your power, your clarity, and your purpose. We live in a world that moves fast, too fast sometimes. A world that glorifies the finish line, but forgets the power of the first step. A world that praises success, but overlooks the struggle it took to get there. But here's the truth: progress, not perfection, is what builds greatness. Every small step forward, every quiet victory, every private battle you've overcome, it all matters. You may not be where you want to be yet. You are not where you used to be, and that alone deserves celebration. Celebrating your progress isn't arrogance, it's acknowledgement. It's giving honor to your growth, even if no one else sees it. It's saying to yourself, I may not have arrived, I've advanced. Every bit of growth, every inch of movement, every single act of perseverance is evidence that you're becoming stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your purpose. You've walked through moments you thought you wouldn't survive. You've faced setbacks that could have broken your spirit. You've endured seasons of waiting, times of uncertainty, days when nothing made sense, and yet here you are, still standing, still growing, still trying. That's progress. You might not feel it every day. The fact that you keep going is proof that something powerful is happening within you. The world often measures success by outcomes, by trophies, titles, money, and applause. But progress is more personal. It's measured in resilience, patience, and persistence. It's the quiet shift in your mindset when you choose faith over fear, peace over panic, or discipline over comfort. It's the decision to get up one more time when quitting felt easier. It's the moment you start speaking kindly to yourself instead of criticizing your every flaw. That's progress worth celebrating. Too often, we rush past our growth because we're focused on what's next. We say, I'll celebrate when I make it, or I'll rest when I reach the goal. But that mindset steals the joy from the journey. You don't have to wait for the destination to celebrate the direction. You can be grateful for progress while still reaching for more. You can honor your journey without feeling guilty for not being further ahead. Progress is a process, one that requires patience and persistence. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's silent, and sometimes it feels invisible. But growth doesn't always announce itself with fireworks. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it's found in the way you handle things that used to break you. Sometimes it's in the peace you choose instead of reacting. The forgiveness you give instead of holding grudges, or the courage you show when stepping into the unknown. You must learn to pause and reflect on how far you've come. Look back, not to dwell in the past, but to see your own evolution. The person you were a year ago, a month ago, even a week ago, is not the same person you are today. You've grown, you've learned, you've endured, you've become stronger, wiser, and more grounded. Give yourself permission to feel proud of that. When you celebrate your progress, you reinforce your belief that change is possible. You remind yourself that small steps add up to big victories. You train your mind to look for growth instead of lack, for movement instead of stagnation. It's not about ignoring your goals, it's about appreciating the journey that gets you there. Celebration is fuel for the soul. It recharges your motivation and strengthens your resilience. When you take time to acknowledge what's working, you build momentum to keep going. Gratitude and recognition are not distractions, they are nourishment for endurance. When you celebrate progress, you feed your spirit with hope. Care enough, you don't need a crowd to celebrate. You don't need applause or validation. You can celebrate quietly, privately, intentionally. It could be as simple as taking a deep breath and saying, I did that. I made it through that. I'm still moving. Because your journey doesn't require public approval. It requires personal appreciation. It's easy to look at others and feel behind, to see someone else's success and think you're not doing enough. But you can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Everyone's pace is different. Everyone's race is different. The only person you're in competition with is the person you were yesterday. Celebrate being better than you were. Celebrate the effort it took to grow. Celebrate the discipline it takes to stay consistent. Progress doesn't always look like movement. Sometimes it looks like rest. Sometimes it's knowing when to pause, when to heal, when to let go. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is take care of yourself. Don't overlook that as weakness. Rest is not retreat. It's restoration. Taking time to refill your spirit is part of your progress. When you learn to celebrate your progress, you start to appreciate the process. You realize that every delay wasn't denial, it was development. Every setback wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Every obstacle wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You start to see how the difficult seasons shaped your strength. You begin to trust the timing of your journey, even when it's slower than you planned. The truth is, nobody sees the full story behind your progress. They see the results, not the resilience. They see the outcome, not the effort. They don't know about the nights you couldn't sleep, the tears you cried, the sacrifices you made. But you know the cost of your growth. That's why your celebration matters. It's personal. It's your way of honoring what it took to become who you are now. Progress isn't linear. Some days you move forward with confidence. Other days you stumble, fall, and have to start again. But even on your worst days, you're still further ahead than when you started. Growth happens in cycles, not straight lines. So when you fall, don't judge yourself. Remind yourself that every step, even the shaky ones, are still steps forward. Celebrating progress builds self-respect. It reminds you that your worth isn't tied to perfection or speed, but to persistence. It teaches you to value effort over ease and process over results. It keeps you grounded in gratitude while you keep reaching for greatness. Take a moment right now to reflect on your progress. Think of the storms you've survived, the fears you've faced, the lessons you've learned. Think of the moments you almost gave up but didn't. That's worth celebrating. You may not have it all figured out, but you're growing through it. You're learning, healing, and evolving, and that's something beautiful. Stop waiting for others to celebrate you. Learn to clap for yourself. You don't need a ceremony to honor your growth. Your life itself is the celebration. The peace you gained, the strength you built, the wisdom you've earned, all of that is evidence that you've made progress. When you celebrate your progress, you create space for joy. You shift from self-criticism to self-compassion. You stop chasing perfection and start embracing the beauty of becoming. You realize that the journey itself is the gift, and every moment along the way is part of the masterpiece that is your life. So take a breath. Look at how far you've come. Give yourself credit for surviving what once scared you. You're not the same person you used to be, and that's worth acknowledging. The journey ahead is still long, but you're walking it with strength, with faith, and with purpose. Celebrate your progress, not because you've arrived, but because you're still moving. Celebrate your resilience, your courage, and your heart, because when you honor your growth, you invite more of it. When you celebrate your progress, you remind the universe that you're grateful for the journey. And gratitude opens the door for greater things to come. You've come so far. Don't forget to look back and smile. The person you were would be proud of who you've become. So celebrate today, because you are progress in motion, a living example of growth, grace, and perseverance. Gratitude is more than a feeling. It's a way of seeing life. It's the lens that turns what we have into enough and what we go through into growth. When you embrace gratitude, you shift your focus from what's missing to what's meaningful. You stop chasing happiness as something outside yourself and begin to recognize it as something already within you. Gratitude transforms ordinary days into blessings, simple moments into miracles, and struggles into strength. In a world that constantly tells you to want more, do more, and have more, gratitude reminds you to pause and appreciate what already is. It slows you down in a culture obsessed with speed. It centers you when everything feels chaotic. It teaches you that contentment doesn't come from abundance. It comes from awareness. When you begin to truly see the good around you, you realize how much you already have to be thankful for. Gratitude isn't about ignoring pain or pretending everything is perfect. It's not blind optimism or denial. It's choosing to focus on what's still right even when much feels wrong. It's finding light in the middle of darkness, hope in hardship, and meaning in the mess. It's saying, even though life isn't easy, I'm thankful for the lessons that are shaping me. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges. It gives you strength to face them with peace and perspective. When you wake up with gratitude, your entire day changes. The moment your eyes open, you can decide how to see your world. You can start with complaints or with thanks. One leads to stress, the other leads to serenity. When you whisper, "Thank you," before the world speaks to you, you anchor your heart in peace. You remind yourself that each day is a gift, not a guarantee. There's always something to be thankful for. The breath in your lungs, the sunrise painting the sky, the roof over your head, the people who care about you, the opportunities still waiting to unfold. Gratitude grows when you stop taking these simple things for granted. Because the truth is, the things you have now are things you once prayed for. Embracing gratitude also shifts how you see yourself. It helps you recognize your own growth, your resilience, your strength. You start to thank yourself for not giving up, for pushing through, for healing from what tried to break you. Gratitude builds self-compassion. It reminds you that even in your imperfections, you're still evolving, still worthy, still enough. Life isn't about having everything. It's about noticing everything. When you pay attention, you begin to see blessings hidden in plain sight. The laughter of a friend, the quiet comfort of solitude, the beauty in small victories, the lessons that came wrapped in pain. Gratitude opens your eyes to the richness of life that can't be measured by possessions or status. It invites you to live fully awake, fully present. Gratitude is a practice, not just an emotion. You have to nurture it intentionally. You have to choose it daily. Even on the hard days, especially on the hard days. Some days you might have to dig deep to find it, but it's always there waiting to be seen. Start by noticing one thing you're grateful for each morning. Then add another. Over time, your perspective shifts. You stop counting what's missing and start counting what's meaningful. When you live with gratitude, your energy changes. You attract more peace, more love, more joy. People who live in gratitude carry a light within them, a quiet strength that doesn't depend on circumstances. They radiate calm in chaos because they understand that gratitude is not conditional. It's a choice. There will always be something you wish you had, something you're still working toward. But even in pursuit, you can practice appreciation. Gratitude doesn't mean you stop striving. It means you stop stressing over what you don't yet have. It allows you to enjoy the journey instead of constantly chasing the destination. You can be grateful and ambitious at the same time. You can appreciate what is while still reaching for what's next. Gratitude also heals. It softens the heart, dissolves resentment, and restores perspective. You begin to thank life for its lessons instead of resenting it for its losses. You start to heal from the inside out. You realize not everything you wanted was meant for you, and that's okay. Some closed doors were protection. Some delays were preparation. Gratitude helps you see divine order where you once saw disappointment, even in suffering. Gratitude as power. When everything feels uncertain, you can still say, thank you for the strength to endure this. When life feels unfair, you can say, thank you for the lessons I'm learning through this. When things fall apart, gratitude helps you trust that something better is being built in their place. It turns bitterness into wisdom, fear into faith, and pain into purpose. Gratitude deepens relationships, too. When you appreciate people for who they are, not just what they do, you strengthen the bond between you. When you express thankfulness, you remind others that they matter. Gratitude creates connection because it's rooted in humility. It's a recognition that life's goodness often comes through the kindness, love, support of others. When you embrace gratitude, you stop needing constant validation. You no longer chase external approval to feel fulfilled. You begin to find peace within yourself. You start to understand that happiness doesn't come from having more. It comes from seeing more. You realize that joy isn't something to achieve, it's something to recognize. The more you practice gratitude, the more resilient you become. You stop reacting to life as a victim and start responding as a creator. You start to see challenges not as punishments, but as opportunities to grow. Gratitude grounds you in stability even when the world feels unstable. It gives you perspective that nothing is wasted, not the waiting, not the losses, not the detours. Everything contributes to your becoming. There's a quiet confidence that grows from a grateful heart. It doesn't need to boast or compare. Rests in trust. It knows that life unfolds as it should. Gratitude gives you the grace to let go of control and embrace acceptance. It teaches you to find peace, not because everything is perfect, but because you've learned to appreciate what is. Take a moment right now, pause and breathe. Think of 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. It could be your morning coffee, a kind message from a friend, simply the ability to read these words. That small act of noticing shifts your energy. You feel lighter, calmer, more present. That's the power of gratitude. It transforms how you experience life. When you live with gratitude, you start to see miracles everywhere. The sunrise feels sacred. The laughter of a child feels divine. The simplest moments become holy because you've trained your heart to recognize the beauty in them. Gratitude doesn't change your circumstances, it changes you. So embrace gratitude not as a reaction, but as a lifestyle. Let it guide your thoughts, shape your attitude, and anchor your spirit. Be thankful for how far you've come and hopeful for where you're going. Life will still have its challenges. Gratitude will give you peace in the middle of them. Wake up each day and whisper, thank you. Thank you for another chance to grow. Thank you for the people who love me. Thank you for the lessons that refine me. Thank you for the breath in my lungs and the strength in my heart. Because the more you thank life, the more life gives you to be thankful for. Gratitude doesn't make life perfect. It makes it beautiful. It turns what's ordinary into extraordinary and teaches you to find blessings in every season. So open your heart. Embrace gratitude fully. Let it fill your soul until your perspective overflows with appreciation. Because when you live with gratitude, you don't just survive, you truly begin to live. Life is full of uncertainty. No matter how much we plan, no matter how much we prepare, there will always be moments that test us. Moments when we don't know what's next, when the path ahead seems hidden, when the weight of the unknown feels overwhelming. In those moments, you have a choice to walk by fear or to walk by faith. Fear tells you to retreat, to doubt, to shrink. Faith tells you to trust, to move, to believe even when you can't see the outcome. Walking by faith is not easy. It requires courage to take steps when the ground beneath you feels unstable. It requires trust when nothing makes sense. It's choosing to move forward when your emotions scream to stay still. But the truth is, faith doesn't need full clarity. It only needs commitment. You don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. Faith is that quiet inner voice that whispers, keep going. Even when fear shouts, turn back. Fear thrives on uncertainty. It feeds on doubt. It tells you every reason why you can't, why you're not ready, why you'll fail. Faith looks fear in the face and says, I believe anyway. Faith doesn't deny the presence of fear. It just refuses to be ruled by it. You can feel afraid and still move forward. You can feel unsure and still take action. Because walking by faith means choosing trust over terror, purpose over panic, and belief over hesitation. Every great story begins with a step of faith. Every breakthrough starts with a moment of uncertainty. Think about it. The greatest changes in your life didn't happen when everything was clear. They happened when you dared to move without all the answers, when you trusted the process, when you listened to that still, quiet voice that told you, this is the way. Faith is not just for comfort, it's for courage. It's what carries you through when everything else fails. Fear will always whisper reasons to quit. It will tell you that you're not enough, that you'll never make it, that the risk is too great. But faith responds with a deeper truth. I am built for this. Faith reminds you that you've overcome before and you'll overcome again. Fear is loud, but faith is strong. Fear makes you see obstacles. Faith makes you see opportunities. Fear keeps you focused on the problem. Faith keeps you focused on the promise. When you walk by faith, you stop needing guarantees. You stop waiting for perfect timing. You stop asking for every answer before you act. Because faith is not about certainty, it's about confidence. It's about knowing that even if you can't control the outcome, you can trust the one who controls the outcome. You realize that what's meant for you will not miss you, and what's not meant for you cannot stay. Fear says, faith says, what if I fly? Fear says, what if they leave? Faith says, what if this is preparing me for better? Fear says, what if it doesn't work out? Faith says, what if it's leading me exactly where I need to be? The difference between fear and faith is not in what you see. It's in what you choose to believe. To walk by faith means to stop living by sight. It means to stop depending solely on what's visible, what's logical, or what's predictable. Because sight is limited. It only sees the surface. Faith sees beyond it. Sight sees the storm. Faith sees the lesson. Sight sees the delay. Faith sees the preparation. Sight sees the pain. Faith sees the purpose. When you walk by faith, you start to realize that even setbacks can be setups for something greater. There will be times when fear feels stronger than faith. Times when your mind is full of questions and your heart is heavy with doubt. But even then, keep walking. Faith is not about never feeling afraid. It's about not letting fear make your decisions. You can be trembling and still take the next step. Because courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward in spite of it. Faith grows through practice. Every time you trust instead of panic, your faith strengthens. Every time you act even when you're uncertain, your faith deepens. Faith isn't built in comfort, it's built in challenge. It's built when life doesn't go as planned, when doors close, when prayers take longer to be answered than you expected. Those are the moments that stretch your faith, that teach you endurance, mold your spirit into something unshakable. Sometimes faith will lead you down a path that others can't understand. People might doubt you. They might question your choices or criticize your vision. But remember, faith doesn't require everyone's approval. It only requires your obedience. You don't need the world to believe in you when you believe in your purpose. Faith is personal. It's between you and the calling within you. When fear says, you can't handle this, faith reminds you you're stronger than you think. When fear says, you're alone, faith whispers, you're being guided. When fear says, this is the end, faith says, this is just the beginning. The two voices will always compete, but you decide which one to listen to. The voice you feed becomes the one that leads. Walking by faith doesn't mean the road will always be easy. It means you'll have peace even in difficulty. It means you'll keep hope alive when everything else feels hopeless. Faith gives you the endurance to walk through uncertainty with assurance. It gives you the strength to say, even if I can't see the path, I trust the purpose. You might not know how things will unfold. Faith teaches you to take the next step anyway, just one step. That's how you move mountains, one faithful step at a time. The unknown is not your enemy. It's your invitation to trust. You may not understand now, but someday you'll look back and realize every moment was guiding you somewhere meaningful. Fear wants to paralyze you. Faith wants to propel you. Fear keeps you stuck in the past. Faith pulls you into the future. Fear makes you doubt your worth. Faith reminds you that you're chosen, equipped, and capable. Every time you choose faith over fear, you're breaking chains of worry, anxiety, and limitation. You're declaring that your destiny is greater than your doubt. Faith doesn't require evidence. It becomes the evidence. When people ask how you're still standing, how you're still smiling, how you're still moving forward after everything you've faced, the answer is faith. It's not logic, it's not luck. It's that deep conviction that something greater is working through you and for you. The truth is, you can't walk by faith and hold hands with fear. You have to choose one. Faith says, I'll go even if I don't know where it leads. Fear says, I'll wait until I see. But the journey belongs to those who move. Faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting that you'll find them as you go. So today, stop waiting for perfect clarity before you take action. Stop waiting for fear to disappear before you move forward. Walk anyway. Believe anyway. Trust anyway. The same strength that carried you this far will carry you further. There's power in walking by faith. You stop chasing certainty and start embracing trust. You stop needing control and start resting in confidence. You stop being driven by what you see and start being led by what you know deep within your spirit. Walking by faith doesn't guarantee an easy life, but it guarantees a meaningful one. It gives you resilience when life gets rough, perspective when things don't go your way, and peace that no storm can take away. So keep walking, one step at a time, even when the path is unclear, even when fear whispers loud, because every step of faith is a declaration that says, I may not know what's ahead, but I know who's guiding me there.